After a lacklustre opening game in the Premier League, Chelsea set their sights on their first win of the season as they travel to the Molineux, a venue that we haven't won at since 2019. Some huge news before we get into the video that this is the season that finally the watch-alongs are on this channel for every single game during the 24-25 season, at the very least, with updates about next season and so on coming closer to the time. I know it's something that a lot of you have wanted for the last 2-3 seasons or so, so want no more. Want no more. The watch-alongs are here in their entirety. Join me an hour before every single game this season for the watch-alongs. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can never guess where it's going to go. There's going to be a lot of good times, so I look forward to seeing as many of you there as possible throughout the season. With that out the way, this past Thursday evening saw Chelsea and Enzo Maresca come away with the club and manager's first win in competitive competition. Competitive competition? It's kind of the same thing. But still, the Blues came away with a 2-0 win in a tighter than expected matchup against Swiss side Servette, with the second leg coming up this time next week, as in next Thursday. Coming into this match, however, Chelsea are hoping to do something they've only managed to do on one singular occasion since Wolves were promoted back in the 2017-18 season, or 2018-19, whatever the fuck it was. A 5-2 win back in September of 2019, that time. I still don't think you can say the word on camera, but you know, that time when everyone was a bit sick, with goals from all academy players. There's a dog in the background. A hat-trick from Tammy Abraham, a late goal from Mickey Mount, and that screamer from Fikayo Tomori to open the scoring. It's a game that is easy to remember. It feels like yesterday, but it also feels like an eternity ago. But since then, it's been one of our most difficult fixtures to come away with points, let alone a win. Winless in the last 5 away from home, and even worse than that, we've lost all 3 of the last meetings with an aggregate score of 7-3 against Wolves. For Wolves specifically, coming into this game, they've lost 4 successive Premier League games for the first time since a run of 6 from May to August of 2021. That's a long old time, so maybe now better a time than ever to face these bastards and try and better and try and right the wrongs that we have been given over this period of time. Wolves have only won 1 of the last 12 competitive matches in all competitions since a 2-1 top-flight home victory against Luton in April. Drawing 2 and losing 9 in that time. There was no Englishman in Wolves' starting lineup against Arsenal for the first time. That has been the case in a Premier League fixture. Ryan Ait-Nouri, at 23 and 80 days old, 23 years and 80 days old, can become the youngest player to make 100 Premier League appearances for Wolves, a record which currently belongs to now Chelsea player PEDRO Neto. More on him in just a second, of course. For Chelsea, coming into this game, Chelsea can lose their opening 2 games, of a league season for the first time since the 73-74 season. These statistics, they just come out of nowhere all at once, and it's there to be broken by a Chelsea side who are more often than not wanting to, it would seem. Enzo Maresca can become the first Chelsea manager to lose his first 2 top-flight fixtures in charge of the club since Gianluca Vialli in the first 3 in 1998, not including second spells as manager. The Blues have failed to keep a clean sheet in any of the last 18 away matches in all competitions since a 2-0 Premier League win at Fulham last October. And lastly, a goal for Pedro Neto would make him only just the 4th player to net a Premier League goal for and against Wolves after Stephen Hunt, Diogo Jota and Morgan Gibbs-White. Team news, and for Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers boss Gary O'Neill has no new fitness issues ahead of Chelsea's visit. Nelson Semedo will miss out through suspension, while Leon Chiwome and then some other geezer, I'm not even going to try and say his name, and Enzo Gonzalez remain long-term absentees. Saza Kaladzic, by the way, I felt like I should have given that at least a try, and I feel like I gave it a good go. For Chelsea, It's time. Well, it could be time. Well, it's time nonetheless. We forgot. It's 10 o'clock. Scared the bejesus out of Rufus Bohr. Bless him. But wait no longer, hopefully, as Chelsea's Joao Felix is available to play though head coach Enzo Maresca is yet to decide whether the Portugal international will feature from the start. You can expect him to start on the bench if I'm to say anything about it, which I'm obviously not, but that's just my opinion. Reece James is serving a third game suspension of a 4-match suspension after being sent off at the end of last season. In terms of lineup predictions, I think the focus will be mainly on Pedro Neto coming into this game. However, I think it would be beneficial to see him come off the bench as to reduce the pressure on him from the get-go. I don't know if he's a player that necessarily adheres to pressure, if he takes pressure on and doesn't, a bit like a Mudryk, not to really, be on that drum of Mudryk this, Mudryk that, but he is a player, unfortunately, that really doesn't handle pressure very well. Is Neto a player that can handle pressure? Do you really want to start him from the very get-go? But then again, taking him off the bench, there might be boos, there might be jeers, there might be all sorts, but I would imagine an impact substitution from Pedro Neto to either get the win, get the draw. It could be a recipe for success rather than disaster. Not only that, but I just don't see him taking Christopher Nkunku's spot on the left just yet, even though Christopher Nkunku hasn't been fantastic on the left-hand side. It's early days, though, all the same. With Enzo wanting to establish a regular 11, I would be surprised with no injuries or suspensions beside Reece James if he was to alter our lineup from our one against City this past weekend. So expect to see more or less the exact same thing that we saw last Sunday. Now, none of this is to say that Jackson is a guarantee up top, but after Guillau's missed the other day, I doubt his spot is really up for contention right now, at least until maybe, just maybe, Victor Osimhen is still on the cards. Is that ever going to happen? Is it going to be a deadline day? Disaster, miracle, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Last but not least, predictions. As with any game involving Chelsea, it's hard to predict a definitive victory, not to mention our recent record, both home and away, and against, Wolves. But I am going with the idea that things are slowly coming together. Maybe a glass half full moment from yours truly. Something that you guys haven't seen very often lately. And that we will see a real glimpse of what Maresca is hoping to showcase with the side in months and maybe even years to come. With that said, I simply cannot predict Chelsea getting a win here based on history and on current form. So for that and that alone, I'm going with a 1-1 draw. I do think it's going to be a stalemate. I think we'll see some positives, however, just not enough to get all 3 points. With that said, let me know your comments. Let me know your predictions, your comments in the... Fucking hell. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Again, the watch along tomorrow or today, whenever you're watching this, will be at 1 p.m. UK time, an hour before the match starts. So I look forward to seeing you there again live on this channel and on playback.tv/Alex Goldberg. Again, let me know your comments. Fucking Jesus Christ. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. My name is Harry Up the Chelsea. Smash the like button. Come on, win a game, please. And peace.